This show is part of the RetroZap.com podcast network.
This is what you can look forward to on episode 188 of Skywalking Through Neverland.
I was hoping it would be a two-part film, but apparently, based on the name, there will not be a sequel.
We are excited to talk about your experience at Lucasfilm over the past weekend.
Hashtag solo just says it all.
I want to say that this final season is going to really feel like Star Wars.
This just got so Disney. What if we just kept it the untitled Han Solo movie?
And that's one to grow on.
Are you ready?
Off to Neverland.
Here we go.
A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome. Disneyland is your land.
When I first made Star Wars, everybody in Hollywood said, well, this is a movie Disney should have made.
You're more than just fans. You're family.
Best day ever!
Secrets lab. It's about family, and that's what's so powerful about it.
Hey.
When you use a bird to write with, it's called tweeting.
When we visit the world of Disney, we never grow old. It's a Peter Pan, Never land that keeps us young in heart.
This is Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi, and you are skywalking through Neverland. I have a good feeling about this.
Hey, Skywalkers! Are you ready to talk about the new and final season of Star Wars Rebels and the reveal on the new Han Solo film title? Then we want to welcome you to Skywalking Through Neverland. We are your podcast destination for the many decades of your Star Wars and Disney fandom. I am Richard Wolosky, but everyone please say hello to my sweetie wife, Sarah.
Hey, hello to our Star Wars and Disney family. Now, we like to start each and every show with a giant Wookiee hug. To our family of Skywalkers who listen to the show every week, those of you who tweet at us, we are at Skywalking Pod, or those who post in our Facebook group and just share the positivity about our collective adventure through fandom. We love that.
Now, we are recording this from Long Beach, California on October 17th, 2017. I wonder what time it is. If only someone could tell me what time it was.
Minnie? Is she awake?
It's 7:49.
Oh my gosh! What was that? I didn't know Minnie could laugh like that.
She's laughing because we're recording so late.
Apparently. Oh my god. Well, maybe she's laughing because how many days until Halloween?
14 more days until Halloween. 2 more weeks. So excited.
Wow. All right, but you know what? We have some special guests with us today. Everyone, please say hello to Skywalking Through Neverland Facebook group admin and the co-host of the Disney Universe podcast, Joey Pittman.
Hey, Joey.
Hey, guys, how you doing?
We are doing great, and thanks for joining us.
Well, thanks for having me. Happy to be here.
Yay.
And another Skywalking Through Neverland Facebook group admin and base commanding officer at Rebel Legion Endor Base, Mr. Donald Wicks. Hey, Donald.
Hey, Richard. Hey, Sarah. And hey, Joey. How you guys doing?
We are excited to talk about your experience at Lucasfilm over the past weekend.
All right, now on this episode, we're going to be talking about the screening you two attended at Lucasfilm last week, where you got to see 3 episodes from Rebels Season 4, plus our thoughts on the episodes Heroes of Mandalore Part 1 and 2, which just aired October 16th on Disney XD. But before we go there, let's talk about what we thought of today's big Han Solo title reveal.
And you know what that title reveal was?
Go ahead. Say it. Say it.
Solo, a Star Wars story.
All right, so when you guys heard the news today, what was your opinion? Was it a Han Solo Yahoo! Or a
Doesn't sound so bad.
Or just a
No, that's not it.
Joey?
For me, it was, I'd say, a little bit of all.
Yahoo! Doesn't sound so bad.
No, that's not it.
It's something we've been calling the movie for the last year and a half anyways. A lot of Star Wars fans call the other, all the other movies like either Empire, Jedi. It's pretty simple. It's pretty easy. I know that a lot of people are like, oh, they should have called it like Never Tell Me the Odds or stuff like that. But I mean, it's a simple title. It's okay.
Yeah.
It'll grow, I think.
Does the job. How about you, Donald?
Yeah, I'm lukewarm on the idea of the title. My actual thought process was, though, that now that they've done this, are they setting precedents? Are we to expect that if there's a Kenobi film, it's going to be called Kenobi, and they're just going to go with that one, the last name of the character that they're featuring for these standalones? I mean, we'll have to wait and see, but there's nothing good or bad about it. It's fine.
Doesn't sound so bad.
All right, Sarah, what was your opinion on a Star Wars story?
Well, I think that Solo is great for social media. So you just hashtag Solo. It's just 4 letters. Makes it real easy to share a lot of things in one tweet. So I like it that way. Also, I think it's very on the nose, but I understand it because for the layman person who may know the character Han Solo, they're like, oh, Solo, I think that'll be a fun movie to see. And they might go see it just because of the name. So that's where I am on that one. And then also, depending on where the story goes in this movie, I could see how maybe Solo could stand for maybe where he begins or where he ends up in this film. What about you?
All right. For me, there weren't many options that would connect with the casual moviegoer.
Right.
You couldn't call it 12 Parsecs, couldn't call it Scruffy-Looking Nerf Herder, couldn't call it Scoundrel, a Star Wars story, because the casual moviegoer would not connect with that. But you call it Solo, a Star Wars story, automatically they know what's going on. Mm-hmm. And I think people were just so picky about this, and we've seen a lot of, negative feedback because they waited so long to give us so little. We knew it was going to be Han Solo, a Star Wars story. Okay, let's cut out the word Han, go with Solo, a Star Wars story, and there you have it.
Why do you think they waited so long?
Well, I just think that they weren't ready to commit just yet. It was pretty obvious. It's going to be Han Solo, a Star Wars story, or Solo, a Star Wars story. They should have given us this back at D23.
Yes.
I agree with that. I mean, should have got something.
I think the reason it might have been a little late is just because right before D23 Expo is when we had the director change, and I think it just had to kind of go through that shift, and then Ron Howard had to okay the title before they could be announced. That's why I think it was a little late.
But at D23 we got so little, or let me reword that, we got next to nothing on the Han Solo movie. So if they had just given us the title, we would have been happier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the video that they showed, like how he announced it, I mean, like he's been killing it on Twitter, so I think, they could have even shown that at D23, but I don't know, at least the reveal was pretty cool, I thought.
Hi. Well, as we wrap up production, I just want to take this moment to thank an incredibly talented cast and crew for all their hard work. And to the fans out there, I hope you've enjoyed the pictures that I've been sharing, pictures that I've taken from the set of... Can we even say the name of the movie?
And then Chewie's big hairy arms reach into the frame and hand Ron Howard a cue card, which he then flips over, and there is the logo. Solo, a Star Wars story.
Nice. Now, if Lucasfilm had asked you for suggestions, what would you have said? Donald?
Wow, that's a tough question. I mean, especially not knowing what the movie's about and what part of Solo's life are we in. Are we his formative years? Are we into him being a smuggler? When he's an Imperial officer? There's so much history for Han Solo. I mean, it could literally be called anything, but I think a lot of that would be determined by what kind of time frame they were filming this in. Yeah, I have no idea. Okay. I couldn't even begin to imagine what to call it.
What if we just kept it the untitled Han Solo movie? Joey, how about you? If they came to you, what would you have said?
You know what? It's the same thing as Donald said. I mean, we don't really know what's going on, but it's like this is pretty much the only title it could have been, since like so many people, like especially in the original trilogy, like Jabba and Lando, everybody just refers to him as Solo. Even Finn, in Force Awakens, just calls him Solo. He's like,
did you just call me Solo?
Yeah. So, I mean, you can't really name it Solo a buddy story or something, but if they came to me, it probably would have been pretty much what we got. I mean, as simple as it is, I mean, there's really no other title.
Yeah, I would have loved Scoundrel, but that's just me.
Well, now with Leia, Princess of Alderaan, that means so much more now.
Joe actually brought up a great point with Finn calling him that. That would actually, I think, have been a better reveal for the title. Would be Ron Howard holding the sign that says Solo, and then Alden Ehrenreich comes out and said, "Did you just call me Solo?"
Yeah, that'd have been hilarious.
Sarah, I think you hit the nail right on the head. It all comes down to social media and what's going to be hashtagable. And Solo, just hashtag Solo just says it all.
Absolutely.
All right, now, you know what? Let's read a couple of comments we got on Facebook when we posted this thread today.
In our Facebook group, that's right. So we asked our Skywalkers to comment, and let's see. I like the comment from Eric Unkenhout, and he says, "It's an obvious title. Not really sure what else they could have called it. Maybe the reason they waited isn't for what we think." Wonder what he's thinking.
I really like Martin Keeler's comment. Okay. If it is about Han and Chewie, then I would have gone for a Rogue 2. You know what? That is very fitting.
It is. That's very cute.
Of course, it would have confused everybody.
There's a lot of comments in the group. The group really, this one really got to everybody. This isn't necessarily my favorite ones, but there's like where Samir started with meh, then Teresa did a meh, and Kai Charles does double meh. This is just like the little string of unhappiness. I don't know. That's kind of funny, but
then according to the Han Solo-o-meter, that would be a
no. That's not it.
And I'm sure Lucasfilm is monitoring people's reactions. Oh no.
Well, like you said, I think this is more of a layman's title versus
it has
a uber Star Wars fan.
Yeah, it has to appeal to all audiences everywhere.
Donald, did you notice one?
I did actually. I'm trying to find it. Actually, I think one of the funnier ones was the Ghost host David Scale and his comment. I was hoping it would be a 2-part film, but apparently, based on the name, there will not be a sequel.
Oh,
good one, David.
Yeah,
nice.
That's pretty funny.
Well, you know what? Lisa Dullard actually chimed in and said, "Obvious title, of course, but still perfect. My excitement has ramped up."
Yahoo! Oh,
so
good.
For her, she was excited.
That's another Yahoo on the Han-o-meter.
Well, yay.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear people saying that they're getting excited for the Han Solo film, because for the longest time, people were saying that, we don't really need a Han Solo film, so I don't really care. Now, Jeremy Hunt says, "I'm not sure what the purpose of the wait was. My guess, they didn't know what to call it and only recently reached a decision. It's simple and the safe choice. I can see why they chose it." Very much so. Garrett Sessions says, "Son of Corellia just doesn't have the broad appeal Lucasfilm is looking for."
Absolutely.
All right. Anything else stick out to you guys?
One, I really, it was the first comment that we got. I'm a very visual person. I love GIFs or GIFs, whatever they're called. But Ryan Street posted of WWE legend Randy Savage just doing his, "Oh yeah, dig it."
We don't get it, but that's awesome.
Wrestling humor.
Okay.
And then let's round it out with Bruce Patterson saying, "Red Cup." There you go. Red Cup. That would have been hilarious if they stuck with that.
I know.
The merchandising alone.
Oh. Yeah, would have made fans irate, but still, they couldn't have overlooked the humor in that.
Yeah, I like Joseph Solano's comment. It's short, sweet, and to the point. They did a perfect job with branding, and that's what they do. They're experts at branding.
Very true.
Yeah, and Donald, I think you're exactly right. When they do standalone films on characters, it's all going to be the name. Kenobi, a Star Wars story. Jabba, a Star Wars story.
Oh, God.
Porkins, the Star Wars story.
What about, Ahsoka Tano doesn't have quite the ring, so I think they would have to go with Ahsoka, a Star Wars story.
Snips.
Oh, I like Snips. That's cute. Oh.
So I think we pretty much said everything we need to say about Solo, a Star Wars story. And, I've always been excited about any standalone film, especially Han Solo. People said they never really needed this, but I want to see the Sabak match where he won the Falcon from Lando, and I want to see how he saved Chewbacca from slavery, from the Empire. I want to see all that.
I did the Kessel Run.
I want to see the new paint job.
Ooh, the new paint job? Wait, what?
There's supposed to be like the original paint job and on the Falcon, and you actually see how that particular model of ship like actually docks and does its purpose. So I haven't read too much into it, but that's all I've seen, and I'm like really excited to see the Falcon as a new character, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh.
Whereas Yoda, we don't really need to see his backstory because I love the mystery behind Yoda. But Han Solo, we've read about so much in his past that I really want to see all this.
Okay.
All right, now with that, let's move on to Star Wars Rebels. And the adventures you guys had up at Lucasfilm, where you made us extremely jealous and got a chance to see a couple of episodes. Now, paint us a picture of what went down that night.
Go ahead, Donald. It's all you.
Well, as you know, previously stated, I'm a very proud member of the Rebel Legion, and being that we're here in the basically Lucasfilm's backyard here in Northern California, every once in a while they're extremely kind to us, and they send us an invitation to come to their headquarters on the Presidio to watch an episode or 2 or 3 of Rebels on the big screen. And being that this is the season premiere of season 4 and the final season, they invited us up, and of course I asked fellow Skywalker Joey if he wanted to go, and within seconds he was like, yeah.
True story.
Yeah. So Friday evening after work and whatnot, we took the trek up to San Francisco, and we went and saw Rebels.
Wow. How many episodes did you guys see?
We got 3 because they mentioned how at Celebration Orlando that they screened the first 2 episodes. So they're like, we'll just give you 3. And everybody's like trying like, no, just give us a little bit more. And
yeah, they kept teasing more episodes. How about why don't we just stay here all night? And everyone's like,
oh yeah,
sure.
Dave was on a roll.
Which episodes did you see, Donald?
Yeah, we saw the first 2 2-part episode. Was it Heroes of Mandalore?
Yeah,
and then we saw a 3rd episode, and we're not 100% positive if it's going to be chronologically in the season or if it's a later episode. I believe it'll be the 3rd episode in the season, and
I believe it is too because on the recent Rebels Recon, that it was a clip they showed.
Oh, awesome!
Oh.
Okay.
So it will be a 2-parter too.
Yeah, that'll be the episode In the Name of the Rebellion.
Ooh.
Yes.
Yeah.
And as much as we would love to talk about that one, because that one was my favorite episode.
Yes.
We unfortunately cannot, because obviously it hasn't played yet.
You saw an additional episode, but this is a 2-parter. So did you see both parts, or did they just show you half of it?
They left us
just
with
the first half.
Yeah, they left us with a massive cliffhanger.
Because the way during the Q&A when Dave Filoni was talking, he's like, you know what, we could just show you, but then you guys would have like nothing new to watch for 4 weeks and get bored. So we don't want to do that to you. So we won't show you everything yet. But yeah, it is amazing. And I mean I won't say anything, but the quick little tease that is shown on Rebels Recon is they are at a familiar place. He didn't really tease. One thing he did say, I think I sent in the clip. It's that this is his favorite season. He's like, we finally got it right. Go figure. It's the last season, but he was really excited. He said that every episode is just really intense and amazing, and you can see the excitement in his face when he was describing it. And people still try to get a little bit of teasers from him, but he wouldn't break.
During his intro, he did tease one thing, and that was the identity of Snoke.
There's been an awakening. Have you felt it?
can make something up. A lot of people do. Did you know that Ezra's Snoke? I didn't. So that was illuminating. That was illuminating. But
we shall see.
Oh, now wait a minute. There's some fans who have been talking about that.
Now, wait a minute. Do you think this is smoke and mirrors here, or did he reveal something?
Or does Dave Filoni have his own Snoke theory?
His house has been affected by the Sonoma fires, so he was really kind of in a somber mood at first. But once he saw the crowd and everybody there, and it really loosened him up. So I think he was just kind of it brought him up in a cheerful mood, seeing everybody there, all the Legion members and mercs and everybody. But yeah, he was just baiting the crowd all night. People were asking about Chopper, about Ahsoka. He's like, yeah, Ahsoka could come back anytime. You could go to Amazon, get her Pop Funk and Funko Pop.
And you said there was a Q&A?
Yeah, there was a Q&A afterwards. It was hosted by, I believe it was Lucasfilm's social media person, Justin Bolger. And Dave Filoni was on stage along with a lady who is a sound artist or sound designer for Rebels.
Oh, yeah, that was Bonnie Wild.
Yeah, so the Q&A lasted about 45 minutes.
Was there anything revealed in the Q&A that didn't stick out as you were watching Heroes of Mandalore?
Nothing stuck out to my knowledge. I know that the recording that I sent you, and I might have missed the beginning of the question, but he asked about the Mandalorians. Because obviously, with the Mando Mercs there, they're very interested in his interpretation of the Mandalorian culture, and he went off on a really long conversation about what he loves about them and how he likes to see them represented on Rebels.
I think your guys' creativity and individuality should be maintained, and I think it would be, I don't know, it would seem weird if I just started taking that stuff. I respect the creativity of it. I find it all very inspiring. I don't know in the future if there'd be a way. It's hard when you get into incorporating things that's off of a major franchise and then there are lots of fans of it. It gets a little weird and gray area. So, I just try to pay attention to what people like and what I like, and I hope that there's a crossover between them. So that's mainly it. But, the branches of Mandalorians that there are, and that I've met Mandalorians now all over the world, and they all have a lot of commonness in their individuality, their uniqueness for armor. So we try to keep that consistent with what they're doing.
Okay. Were there any other notable names in the crowd? Any of the cast members, crew?
No, none that I'm aware of.
I think just a few of the crew members, but none of the big names or no voice actors were there.
So how about the most important question? What'd you get for swag?
On the way out, they had on the table Season 4 posters.
Oh, what do they look like?
They have released the image online as a big group photo of all of them kind of jumping out at the screen, and then above in the middle is that new wolf, and then on the side is
Thrawn
and what's her head?
The one that looks like Kate Blanchett from Indiana Jones.
Oh yes,
Minister. No, not Minister Tuish.
Oh, Price.
Price. Yeah. So everyone has seen that image, but those posters were sitting on a table for people to grab.
And I did grab a few. Woohoo! So a few extra. I can send some your way.
Wow. Well, thank you very much.
The picture of the crew, the Ghost crew, actually, it's kind of, I don't want to say bittersweet, but it looks really like a family photo. How everybody's standing together, like kind of like a little Christmas picture. But
on the bottom, does it say Sears Portrait Studios?
Or picture people.
Glamour shots. No.
Okay.
Glamour shots. Oh my gosh.
Actually, it took a couple seasons to get me there, but I'm actually quite sad that Rebels is now ending. It took a while for me to warm up to the majority of the cast, and now that I've really started to really enjoy these episodes, we're on a countdown. It's almost over with, so it's kind of a bummer.
Yeah, who's your favorite character?
Oh, Hera.
Ah.
Well,
nice.
Luckily for you, we have Forces of Destiny, which will pick up most of these characters. Except for Zeb, because apparently he's being lost somewhere.
Oh, poor Zeb.
Haven't seen Zeb in a while. All right, now with that, let's recap Star Wars Rebels Season 3 to catch everyone up. Then we can move on to our thoughts on the Heroes of Mandalore Parts 1 and 2.
Ahsoka!
Battles leave scars. Some you can't see.
I will never let my friends get hurt again.
The holocron. I'm afraid it's changing him.
What if there are secrets we can learn from it that'll help us destroy the Sith?
Ezra, the secrets in that thing almost destroyed you.
There are Imperial cadets at the Sky Strike Academy who wish to defect to the rebels.
This is Ty SS-25. You can call me Wedge.
Welcome to the rebellion.
Still can't believe we're here to break this guy out of prison.
My friends, haha! I give to you Reclaim Station.
If we could steal a squadron's worth,
They would be key to building a strike fleet.
Let's go get them.
Everybody ready?
Yep.
Let's go. One last glorious day in the Grand Army of the Republic.
Flying stormtroopers?
Worse, Mandalorians who serve the Empire.
You haven't forgotten our ways. That has earned my respect.
Governor Price, these rebels have proven particularly stubborn. How do you intend to solve this problem?
I need someone who sees a bigger picture.
To defeat an enemy, you must know them.
Grand Admiral Thrawn.
Caravast. Embrace your destiny.
Jedi and Sith, the light and the dark. I'm the one in the middle, the Bendu. Once a secret is known, it cannot be unknown.
Your anger gives you strength.
I will pull the rebels apart piece by piece.
I must become more powerful.
They'll be the architects of their own destruction.
Ezra, turn away before it's too late!
The key to destroying the Sith.
That was a very powerful season, and they've got a lot to live up to with just that alone, bringing in fan favorites like Thrawn and Wedge.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, Filoni, ball's in your court. Now with Season 4, we start with Sabine leading a mission to free her father, but finds that the weapon she was forced to build, which is capable of destroying her people, is now being used by the Empire. With the help of Clone Wars fan favorite Bo-Katan, she sets out to destroy the weapon once and for all.
Yeah, so what are our thoughts on this Heroes of Mandalore Parts 1 and 2? Donald, do you have any, first thoughts?
I think... we've seen a huge range of emotions from these animated characters, and I think with Sabine, this first episode, or was it the second one when after the weapon was used, you could really, the emotion that these characters are portraying is just, it's astounding. They're animated, but it's very real, and I think that's what I really loved about these episodes is the emotion, and it was very real.
Yeah, this is a very humanistic arc.
Mm.
There was a lot of action, but yet we really delved into character. So, Joey, how about you?
Same thing going on with Donald said, especially going back to Season 3, the whole training, with Kanan, just that emotional part where she just breaks down as she's fighting Kanan, then fast forward to this episode, Tia Sakar's voice acting is just insane. You feel the emotion in her voice when the pain that she feels once she realizes that the weapon that she built is working, even though she thought she destroyed it. And I'm a big Mando fan, is just seeing them flying around. And I mean, that was just insane. Then the camera angles that they used too, I was so cool. And I love Sabine's theme, and just the difference that they added more of a action version of it at times, but back to the emotional part. That really stuck out, was just like her theme, and just seeing the Mandos fight, and even seeing Ezra with a jetpack was pretty funny too.
We had seen these episodes up on the big screen at Celebration, and I do believe every episode needs to be seen on the big screen.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Agreed.
just so much detail and so much color and depth, and the lighting they use, and just without the commercial breaks, just cinematic.
Definitely.
All right, Sarah, what was your opinion on this arc?
Well, I was having a lot of fun watching it. Like Joey said, it's really cool to see the Mandos, in using their jetpacks and zooming around and flying after TIE fighters and everything. And so you have these fun action sequences, but then at the very end of Heroes of Mandalore Part 1, you get an immediate return to reality when Sabine hears this weapon that she has built being used, and then you go and you see the Mando armor without a body in it. And it brought everything crashing down. I know I had chills going, oh my gosh, this just got real.
This just got so Disney.
Yeah.
Because
Bambi's mom.
She thought her mom and brother were
gone.
Were incinerated.
Yeah. Oh, terrible. So that, I mean, if you weren't having fun, or if you were having fun watching the episode, all of a sudden you got this immediate dose of reality, whoa, this season is going to be intense.
I recall this silence we heard at Celebration when Sabine went running over to this charred mark on the ground.
Uh-huh.
And was that her brother's final place before he got burned up? Now, the weapon, let's take a step back. The weapon that she had created when she was when she was a slave to the Empire,
right?
This was made to attack the alloy in the Mando's armor, which would heat it up super quick and to a temperature where it would just incinerate the person inside, and they would just crumble to dust.
And it would only attack the armor with this alloy in it, so it would not harm the regular Stormtrooper armor.
Yeah, it's called Beskar. The Mandalorian armor is Beskar.
Okay.
Oh.
And what was this weapon called?
The Duchess.
Yeah.
Bo-Katan's all like, wait, what?
Best bet they're working on the Duchess up there.
The Duchess? You named your weapon after my sister? The former ruler of Mandalore.
It was a series of bad decisions, okay?
It's crazy.
Yeah, but she had created a weapon. She created the prototype, which she did destroy. Sabine destroyed the prototype, but the Empire found enough pieces to put it together and rebuild it. But as Sabine said, they're only using a fraction of the power. If they should happen to find its full potential, not good things to come. Not at all. Now, for me, I like the fact that this is a very Sabine story. It's a very, very personal story for her.
Sabine-centric?
Yeah, Sabine-centric. And Rebels, up until last season, was Ezra's story, but they shifted in a big way to Sabine, Mandalore, and Sabine's family. And in this arc, Sabine doesn't just have common family problems. This goes deeper, where she created this weapon that can destroy her people. So, of course, her people are going to be like, hey, you're a traitor. What'd you do this for? And because of her creating this weapon, her family shuns her. Now, there's a standout moment that I really love where Bo-Katan tries to protect her from the Mando soldiers who consider Sabine a traitor, and Sabine is willing to take responsibility for her actions.
Sabine, what are you doing?
I'm prepared to take responsibility for my actions. It's true. I designed the weapon as a loyal student at the Imperial Academy. The Empire is using my prototype, but it's only functioning at a fraction of its capacity. At full power, it will destroy armies. So, you've got a choice to make. We can fight each other, or we can destroy this weapon once and for all.
And I think that's such a powerful message for kids. Take responsibility for your actions. And I just hope everyone, kids and people alike, really hone into that, because that's not something we see in today's society, unfortunately.
I also like the fact that it was the Mando's choice to put down their weapons. Like, no one, like, even though Bo-Katan spoke for Sabine in that moment, she let the other Mandalorians make a choice whether to accept Sabine or not.
And that's one to grow on. And I'd like to pose this question to you, as well as the Skywalkers out there. I'm kind of getting the impression that, with what Joey brought up about the Sabine-centric episodes at the end of season 3 with Trials of the Darksaber and whatnot, and now with this, is this Lucasfilm's answer to everyone saying, we know a lot about all these characters except for Sabine, who doesn't seem as flushed out as the rest of the main crew? Is this something that you think that Lucasfilm is doing on purpose to give us all this Sabine to placate the fans, saying, "Hey, we don't know who she is. We're not invested in her"?
I think you're partially right with that. And I also think that they're building up her character to transfer over to Forces of Destiny. Because we have been seeing a lot of Sabine, and I think there's going to be even more Sabine coming up. And I had asked Jennifer Morrow on our last episode, do you think there'll ever be half-hour episodes of Forces of Destiny where you focus on just one character? And I can definitely see that happening, and Sabine getting her own slots. Because we've built up so much character, why just let it go now?
Okay.
There's a lot of storytelling there, and there's so much more to go off of, especially when going into the films.
Okay. I actually believe that, like, Sabine's character arc was already fleshed out, like, at the beginning of Star Wars Rebels, but it just kind of took this long to get to her backstory episodes just because we were focusing so much on Ezra for the first 2 seasons, and then they brought Ahsoka in with Vader. Right. So I just think it just took them a while to get to her arc, but I think it was always there and always part of the plan.
Yeah, I find it odd that they're really shifting away from Ezra. Even in the episode Twin Sons, we had Ezra, but then Ben Kenobi just sent him away. Mm-hmm. And I think Ezra should have had more to do in that episode. So we've been shifting away to Sabine and having it be her story. It may be like you had said, Donald, earlier, that Dave Filoni is just a huge fan of the Mandalorians and wants to flush her out to continue her story moving forward.
Sounds like a plan. It's working.
So what were your standout scenes from this arc, Joey?
Man, there's so many in the 2 episodes, but I will say the one that got the biggest cheer or reaction was when they're flying away, the rebels, and they're being chased by TIE fighters. Then Bo-Katan and Ezra go to fly, and they're like, "Oh no, we don't got weapons." And she's like,
"Mandalorian with a jetpack is a weapon."
And the crowd, like full of the wolves of Mandalore, just erupted. But then that whole scene was pretty cool, especially with Ezra taking out TIE fighter with the rocket on the back.
During the screening, who got the most applause? Which character?
For these arcs?
Yeah.
Or for this arc? Probably Bo-Katan, I think.
Yeah, I would.
I think that when they revealed her, she took off that helmet. You can tell who she is. Even though it's a different animation style than the Clone Wars, she's just so strikingly unique, and everyone just lost their brains. Just, it's Bo-Katan! Holy buckets!
But throughout both episodes, I mean, there was cheers and claps, and it really got to everybody in there. So it's hard to really pinpoint one moment, but I agree with Donald. Most of the scenes with Bo-Katan, and like when she was first revealed, and the scene I just mentioned, and at the end where she lights up the Darksaber in front of the Mandalorians, taking her place as a leader, really got a lot of cheers.
Wow.
Okay, Donald, how about you? What was your standout scene from this arc?
I'm going to go in the opposite direction, kind of touching back on the emotions of it, is that scene when Sabine first discovered the Mandos and she turns away, and you see, hopefully you can see on the small screen, the tears running down her face. It's not often that you see actual crying in Star Wars. Aside from a few very main special moments like Anakin on Mustafar, but this one was true anguish on her, and the way that they portrayed that on screen, you really felt the sadness. And then when Tristan and her mother finally showed up, saying, "Oh, we were on the outskirts of the explosion," everyone was just so happy and excited and cheering that they were still alive. Because I truly thought that they passed along with all the rest of the Mandos.
Yeah, I thought that was Tristan on the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was such a sad shot where Sabine picks up a part of his armor and it just blows away in dust. And she realizes it was because of me that this happened, because she had developed this weapon that just incinerated her brother.
It's her loss of her family, and it's her guilt of being the reason why she lost her family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Another strong scene too was that when she went a little Anakin and just kind of went crazy with it, without her helmet, but taking out stormtroopers like nothing at first, and they had to calm her down a little bit. Yeah, like Donald said, just on the big screen, just seeing the anguish in her face, that close up, and really emotional.
Yeah. So I'm still wondering about Zeb. We saw a little bit of Kanan, saw a little bit of Hera, but
I could answer that question, but I will not answer that. Yeah, we can answer that.
Okay.
Our lips are sealed.
Oh, Carabas.
I don't think this is anything spoilery, but when at the end of the last season, when Sabine goes with her family, they kind of find out, well, like they say, where they find out where their father is. So they just ask for a little bit of help from the rebels, and that's why Kanan and Ezra go, just as like a side mission. But they're I'll just say they might be on a time limit. If you guys can't get them by then, we need you to come back.
Okay.
Gotcha. So Sarah, how about you? What was your favorite standout scene?
Okay, the standout moment, because when she comes upon the bodies of the Mandos, you can't really understand what she's seeing yet until they show that overhead shot where she is like kind of crouched over what was the body of a Mando, and you can really tell.
So you see the charred outline.
The charred outline of the body.
That was your favorite scene?
Well, that was the one that stood out. You asked what was the scene that stood out.
Okay.
And that was it. I mean, that was the most impactful.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does. It does.
That was my standout moment. I don't know if it wasn't my favorite.
Or even that part where Ezra's like, can't you just change the material?
Okay, so this weapon only targets Mandalorian armor, right? So why not make your armor out of something different?
Ezra, the armor I wear is 500 years old. I reforged it to my liking, but the battles, the history, the blood, all lives within it. And the same goes for every Mandalorian.
This armor is part of our identity. It makes us Mandalorians who we are.
Okay, so I understand all about honor. I understand about heritage. But you have a decision here. You can change out your armor and live to fight another fight, or you can keep the armor and be incinerated.
You can take it off, save it, get new armor, and be fine.
So I can understand both points of view, but
right.
I'm kind of with Ezra. You know what? I'll just go in vacuum form another set of armor, okay? I'll be good.
Oh, boy.
All right, now for me, my favorite standout scene.
Yes.
It would be the chase that ended part 1 that was heavily, heavily inspired by the truck chase in Raiders of the Lost Ark and the tank scene in The Last Crusade.
Woohoo!
I mean, you put those two scenes together, you would get this scene right here. So full of action. You have speeder bikes, and for bonus points, you have 3 Imperial troop transports. Favorite Kenner toy ever. And that scene where they're all going over the cliff and Ezra doesn't have his backpack anymore and he's jumping from one transport to the other. I just loved that. I thought it was action-packed, and I wish they had used more of Kanan in that. But you know what? I'll take what I can get.
Well, even when the Duchess is gets turned over to attack the stormtroopers, that was real Ark of the Covenant zapping them too.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? Now that you mention it, I think one of the stormtroopers was named Belloc. Now, I might be just making that part up, but you never know.
He was stepping out of the shadow.
Yes, he was. All right. So, anything else you two want to mention about this arc?
Great way to start the season. I mean,
agreed.
It's going to be a great season, and I think I want to say that this final season is going to really feel like Star Wars. What we saw at the next episode and what we've seen in the way the season previews have gone. I mean, we're getting to, New Hope, Rogue One, familiar territory, and just what we feel, what we've seen on the screens for so many years now, 40 plus years. So definitely a great way to start the final season.
And you can definitely see iconic stuff happening in Rebels this season. I think it's going to be a nice bookend to what we've experienced throughout the entire saga.
What characters do you see popping up in this last season that we saw in either Rogue One or A New Hope?
Like, what characters would you want to see? Is
or
that what you're asking?
Not just want to see, but what characters would fit perfectly in this last season?
Well, I definitely love to see more of the X-Wing pilots. We've already got Hobby from episode 5. We've got Wedge. I'd like to see some more. I'd like to see Dutch and Vander, and who else is there?
Porkins. Come on, man.
Porkins. I know.
It's obvious.
And how about Biggs Darklighter?
Did we already see Biggs?
No, we haven't. We've seen Wedge. We have not seen Biggs yet.
Okay.
Yeah, and even moving on to The Empire Strikes Back or Return of the Jedi, there's so many Admiral Piet, General Riken. I want to see them all pop up in this last season. or how about Jyn Erso? Jyn Erso, Cassian.
Yeah, I was going to say Cassian or Jyn.
Yeah.
We already know that, with that teaser that we saw a few months ago, that we're going to see not only Saul Guerrero, but Edrio Two Tubes, which is super exciting.
Right.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
He's piloting that ship with him.
Right.
Yeah, and then we got Rook.
Yeah.
Which I'm excited about.
All right. Well, so much to look forward to in this season. Now, Star Wars Rebels continues on October 23rd with a 2-part episode In the Name of the Rebellion, where Ezra and the Ghost Crew accept a mission to spy on an Imperial outpost they would rather just destroy. And after being separated from Hera and Kanan, Ezra and Sabine join the desperate quest of Saw Gerrera to hunt down the Empire's elusive secret super weapon.
Whoa.
Now here is a preview of that episode arc.
Base 1, this is Phoenix Leader. Stand by for emergency landings.
Come on, move it!
Check your speed, angle forward deflectors. Wedge, dump your fuel.
Got it, boss.
Kanan? Don't worry, she's got it.
Well, you lucky guys got to see that, didn't you?
We did. And I'm super duper excited because my next costume is featured in this episode. I never thought I would see it in anywhere other than where it has previously existed. So I'm very excited about it.
Well, exciting.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, in this episode, I was pretty much grinning the whole time. just like I said, just on the familiarity, and that's all I want to say.
All right, so Sarah, I know you haven't seen the preview yet, but I was very, very excited as to the location.
All right.
All right, Donald, if the Skywalkers want to follow you on social media, where should they go?
Well, I have 2 Twitter accounts. One is my main account, which is at Ren the Jedi, W-R-E-N, like Sabine Wren. And then I also have Real Jack Porkins, where I occasionally jump on and say some funny stuff about not being able to fit in my X-Wing or what I've eaten. And, of course, you can always contact me through the Skywalking Through Neverland private Facebook group, which is growing by leaps and bounds every day. We have a lot of great people in there.
Yeah, thanks to everyone once again in the Skywalking Through Neverland Facebook group for always commenting on everything and helping us with the show, like you guys. Now, Joey, if people want to contact you, where would they go?
Well, they can find me on Twitter and Instagram at jpitty23. Also, you guys mentioned earlier, I got a Disney podcast, the Disney Universe, and that's on Disney Universe Pod on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Like Donald, I'm daily on the Skywalking Facebook group.
You know what? Do you want to give us a preview of your next episode of Disney Universe?
I'm kind of working on it right now, but my niece, who's a cast member in Florida, she's going to be co-hosting with me, and we're just kind of my last show, we did a trip report on the Halloween time at Disneyland. So the next show is we're going to be talking about Halloween at Disney World, since they have like very popular Hocus Pocus stage show. Ooh. And a different parade, and just some of the different offerings that they don't have in California. But
Nice.
That'll be coming up closer to Halloween.
Well, exciting. I look forward to that.
Wow.
Thank you.
If you're doing a Halloween episode, I'll be there.
And I want to go kind of back on what Donald was saying about the Skywalking group. I know a lot of us close people and friends and family were always like, oh, love to be part of this group. And I can see that really, like some of the new people like, is it really like that? And it's like, yes, the group is a family, and what you guys have created, amazing. And I didn't realize this until after we came back from Lucasfilm, but it's like, if there was no Skywalking Through Neverland or group, I probably still would see Donald here and there at local conventions, and he'd just be like, that's a cool Porkins guy at the convention. But instead, because of Skywalking Through Neverland, we're friends. He has invited me to Lucasfilm. We're doing all the stuff with you guys, and it's just really is an amazing community and family atmosphere. So I just wanted to say that.
Well, thank you very much, and we can't take all the credit. You guys have been doing so much great work, and you guys are great safeguards for the Skywalking Through Neverland Facebook group, and we thank you very much for that.
Well, you're very welcome.
Yep, take a lot of pride in it, so thank you.
Well, thank you guys. Now, let's go out with a question that was asked during the screening. A little boy asks Dave Filoni to make chopper sounds. I wonder what he knows that only Eliza Peralta knows.
Can you make chopper sounds?
Can I make chopper sounds? Oh my gosh. I don't think Chopper would like that. Can I make chopper sounds? That's a silly question. Who put you up to that? Was that you? Who put you up to that devious question? You're lucky he's not here. He'll make some sounds. Yeah, he's there in the back. He's down in the other building. He's on he's hidden away, Chopper. I see him from time to time. I'll ask him to make some sounds. Do you like his sounds?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're cool sounds, right?
Yeah.
I think so. You're welcome, Ezra.
Well, that wraps up episode 188 of
Skywalking Through Neverland.
Nice. We would like to thank Joey Pittman, Donald Wicks, and, of course, all of you Skywalkers who listen every single week. Now, don't forget, we have our Halloween shirts available on TeePublic. It's Chewie and the Halloween cosplaying porgs. Who doesn't want a shirt like that?
I know I did, and I got one the first day.
Yes. So you can head to skywalkingthroughneverland.com/support us and find the link to those TeePublic shirts. Also, we have our YouTube channel, and if you would like to go there and subscribe, you can head to youtube.com/skywalkingthroughneverland.
Now, we are part of RetroZap.com, where you can find great articles and awesome podcasts like Brews and Blasters,
The Sandcrawler Podcast,
Beltway Banthas,
The Deucecast Movie Show,
Starship Sabers and Scoundrels,
Techno Retro Dads,
and Talking Apes TV, where we should have another new episode coming out this week.
Didn't you say that last week?
Yes, I did, but this time it's real. It's happening.
And you can also find Skywalking Through Neverland at jedinews.co.uk. All right, Skywalkers, like Joey and Donald were saying, you can find us on Facebook and you can get to know other Skywalkers if you join our Facebook group. So head over to Skywalking Through Neverland group on Facebook. You just search that and then you request to join and then you have to answer the 2 questions. And then Donald and Joey, will you let them in if they don't answer the questions?
Nope.
Nope. And we know Patty won't either.
Oh, no. There are watchdogs. All right. And you guys, you can always find us on social media. We are at Skywalking Pod for Twitter and Instagram.
Now, stay tuned for bits of conversation and the many, many bloopers it took to make this episode. So listen in on that, and then always remember... Neverland on Alderaan.
Some imagination, huh?
To our Skywalkers and Tweetwalkers, thanks for listening. Skywalking Through Neverland is created and produced by Richard and Sarah Woloski. Original music by Rob Dellinger. Creative consultant Mark Augushowitz. Technical advisor Peter Heitman. Facebook administrators Donald Wicks, Joey Pittman, and Norma Heitman.
Skywalking Through Neverland is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Any sounds, music, and clips played during this podcast are the property of their copyright holders. All original content is property of Skywalking Through Neverland, all rights reserved. Sorry, had to be said.
Well...
Unless... This will be fun to edit.
Yeah.
Looking forward to this one.
Oh, boy. All right, so... Was I just finishing up my opinion?
If you can start from the top, that would be awesome.
All right.
And save me about 30 minutes worth of work.
All right. Our Skype, literally just decided, I'm done. Bye.
It was secret
Did
squirrel.
not care about your opinion.
No. No, it didn't. All right.
This would be fun to edit.
Yeah.
Looking forward to this one.
Oh, boy. All right, so... Was I just finishing up my opinion?
If you can start from the top, that would be awesome.
All right. And let's all say that together.
Sure.
1, 2, 3.
Neverland on
Alderaan. You messed it up.
I did.
Let's say it again.